Hello guys, it's another beautiful day. It's Sunday morning and I picked up crocheting again. So this thing I made this morning, it's like there's a single, well actually double crochet and pop stitches going around, and then it ends up being like a little flower. I've been spending all evening yesterday crocheting these 4 granny squares. I actually don't know what I'm gonna make out of it. Maybe like a small blanket if I put it like together. I'll see. I actually bought a lot of these cotton yarn from Grene like last year, and I wanted to make a blanket out of out of them with these patterns. So this beautiful pattern is called Afghan patterns, and it's really simple because it's just like a single crochet all around, but it makes those beautiful patterns that you can play around with. You see, you can mix different colors like so. But the problem was that because I have such a small or like a very thin thread, it would take forever to make one, especially considering that it's a single thread. So I think it's really beautiful, but I will kind of like give up on making these patterns anymore. I think it's better that I would buy like a thicker thread to make this, then it would be faster and I won't get so bored making them. So since yesterday I've been making these granny squares again, but with double threads. So I'll put the thread together like this with 2 yarn borders, and yeah, I've been crocheting this, and it's faster and kind of more enjoyable, also because I haven't crocheted since a year maybe, or no, half a year, let's say. So yeah, that's been a new activity I started yesterday. This is my yarn basket. I have more yarns on my bookshelf because I bought so many of them last year. They were like, oh, like €1 per one, so I bought heaps. So here's a little update later in the evening. Today I did that yesterday, right? So I did these 2 today morning, and then I just did this one. And we are almost done. I just need to do 7 more because there's gonna be 2 here and then just 1 more row to make it a square. And the reason why I'm making it into a square is because I want to make it into a cushion, and I have a spare pillow that I can use to stuff it inside, because the German pillows are square sized. I don't know how it's in other parts of the world. At least in Korea, the standard pillow size is kind of like it's a rectangle, but here it's a square. And I'm going to make this as a cushion to put it on this little couch bed space. So I'm in my office slash studio right now. Maybe I can give you a little tour later. And here I spend a lot of time nowadays crocheting. Sometimes I just sit here to get some sun because the sun comes in the evening from this window. So I just sit here and like get the vitamin D's, and relax. So for the past week, crocheting has been my hobby and I've been really enjoying to do it. I think it's also because I haven't really crocheted for many months before. Until this point, I made some crochet in this spring and then I kind of stopped doing it. And then I was busy with work. And now to pick it up again, it's kind of like a nice refreshment. I'm the kind of person who gets bored quite easily with just one hobby. I mean, I really like drawing, but nowadays I've been drawing less. The reason being, well, I just haven't reached out to it, and that's it. And the good thing is that I haven't really been feeling pressure to draw or to create. I still do it because I like doing it, but I haven't really been feeling obligated or pressured in any way that I have to continue to create, to continue to grow, as in grow the numbers of subscribers or the followers. I haven't been feeling that at all. Which is quite strange because it's normal that we compare ourselves to other creators and feel like we are underperforming if you're not growing fast. But I haven't really been feeling it, and I think it's because I realized that I don't have to be that person who is constantly putting stuff out there and burning herself. And it's also because, I've been really enjoying to spend time outside now that the weather is nice, and spending time with my boyfriend and spending time with my friends and just being in that moment without having to, film. So like during the winter, when we are mostly at home and the weather is not really great, then I'll just put aside the time on the evening or on the weekends just for making videos and for drawing. But now that the weather is nice, and if my friend asks me if I want to hang out, then I'll just say yes. I have been really enjoying to be just living. And and I think that's pretty healthy approach to have with the hobby that I have, which is drawing, because I don't want to keep on forcing myself to draw like say 3 drawings per week just for the sake of Instagram. I want to draw when I want to draw, when I feel more inspired, and when I want to relax and unwind, then I'll draw. But I don't have to feel like I have to create a number of posts per week, a number of videos per month, and so on. So that's how I've been feeling and thinking lately, and I hope that some of you might understand and maybe resonate with me and understand where I come from. And I think honestly that it's very important that you put yourself first and not having to feel like you have to perform more. I realize that I can only say this because I'm not a full-time illustrator. Maybe it is probably going to be different if your finance depends on creating. Me, I have a day job and I get like a small income from YouTube, but it's very small amount and it doesn't really make any significant change in my life. But let's say that if you are really depending on getting your income from just drawing and illustrating, I think it would be different case then. For this, I can only speak for myself, for my experience as a hobby illustrator. Before I started with this journey of creating, I felt a little stuck in my life, as in I had a job in marketing and the more I worked in my profession, I started to feel like I am being framed in the society by the job I have, by the company that I go to. So when people meet me for the first time, then it felt like as if they're more interested in the job that I do or who I am, as in the job description, than who I really am as a person. So I've been starting to feel a little stuck there, and I wanted to start to build another, not a career, but another presence of myself, expressing myself in different ways, having a different means to define myself and to express myself and have a creative outlet that I didn't have at that point. So yeah, at the end, I can only speak for myself and my experiences, and that's how I feel as just a hobby illustrator, doing this on the side on my free time. And I do feel very privileged in a way that I can feel and think like this because I'm not depending financially in the creative field, and I'm not a self-employed person. So that is a relief in a way for me. I think it could be potentially something that I would do more and more to diversify my portfolio and not just being totally dependent on my day job, because you never know what happens in your life. You might get just fired one day out of nowhere, and then what do you do if you don't have a practical skill? So that was kind of also the kind of thought that I had last year, especially because pandemic hit. I was thinking more of the life and how I should structure my life in a way that I'm not dependent solely on just one job. So potentially I hope that I can kind of diversify my skills and my portfolio and somehow build from the scratch. So that's what I've been doing, just drawing in my free time because I like doing it. And maybe this will lead to something one day, maybe not. It doesn't matter at this point, but it at least gives me some kind of confidence that I'm not only that person working in a company in marketing who's done this and that project. That is not, solely me. I am more than that. I just finished drawing this pattern design. I am so hyped about how it turned out. I think the colors are so happy. It just screams out happiness and summer, and it's just nice, I think. I used the same pattern for the same granny pattern design that I am using for my crochet that I'm working on in real life. So I kind of just looked at that and then drew this, and yeah, so the first one I did, or the illustration I did yesterday, was this actually. And then I thought, yeah, why not make it into a pattern, as I often do. So I tried making different swatch. The thing is, with this illustration or this pattern, I just merged all the layers together because it would be too much work if I kept all these different layers. Because the thing is, when I was drawing this pattern, I started from the middle part and then moved on to the next ones. And then the thing is, if I would merge the same colors together, so if I put the pink or the pinks together, then some of the pinks will be coming to the front, and then it would go on the top of this gray yarn, and that would not be looking nice. So I couldn't really put the colors together, which I usually do, so that I can change the colors later and see how that looks like, but I couldn't do it for this time. So I just merged everything, and then I tried to make a different swatch just slightly using the color corrector, or how do you say, this button right here for changing the hue and saturation and brightness. And then I also made this one, which I think also looks nice, but I prefer this color scheme. And I think this month of July has been just a lot of crocheting, relaxing, hanging out, doing nothing, playing games, and definitely not drawing. And this is kind of the first drawing or illustration I did since I stopped doing it some weeks ago. So yeah, I remember yesterday when I started to draw this illustration, I was thinking, oh, what do I draw? I don't have any motivation, or I have no idea what I'm going to draw. And I was scrolling through Instagram to see what others are drawing and get inspired from that. And then I just somehow started to draw the crochet, which I know very well of right now because I've been making this same pattern last 1 month.